We're back in the shop today. It is a brutally hot day here in Texas, and we are working on the Core Culture Z again. It is the final kind of steps to this process if you guys have been following along. I don't know how long this episode's gotten. Maybe this is another episode. I'm not sure, but I haven't edited anything yet. However, we've got some things to do. We've got a big show coming up, Blues on the Green, where I'm gonna have my car and this car on display. So a quick update, the stuff is still expanding. I've had to come back here and make sure it doesn't get on the skirt. And something I just noticed, you can hear it bubbling and spitting, trying to get out of this little pocket, which I think is funny. It's pretty much hard to touch now, though. Over here, and this is still expanding too. See that? It's soft. It's probably sticky right there. So what I was thinking is I would cut it and jam it in there and then let it kind of continue expanding so it doesn't drip on the side skirt. Ooh yeah, look at that. Ah, that's sharp. I gotta file that. Damn. This kind of knife works good. Still got a sticky bit. Just jam it in there. Damn it, I got it on me. Shit. I hate this stuff getting on you. Okay. This I'm gonna cut a bit of an angle like this. And see, it's still sticky inside, which is what I figured. That's why I'm cutting it. Damn, that's gonna screw my knife up. So I'm getting this and jamming it in here while it still has some stickiness to it. Okay, so that's gonna be cut like this. Okay. I'm gonna let that do its thing overnight. Back in the shop working on this thing. Derek and I are knocking it out. Derek, as you know from many other episodes on my channel, is my friend who knows the most about bodywork more than me. So, and he actually likes projects like this. So thank you again for rolling up in here and helping out. So we've got the foam all trimmed and cut and looking fairly nice. It doesn't have to be perfect because remember it's being covered by a body panel here, but just filling in all the gaps and making sure that there's not going to be any smoke or junk or anything like that. Like every single hole is filled. So now we're working on fitting the over fender, and if you can see here, these kind of tuck in a bit at the bottom, and the KBD bumper doesn't flare like the normal, like the OEM bumper, so it flares out a bit right here. So we just have to make a small adjustment. We're probably just going to put some, you know, a trim right here just to get that to sit flush, and then this is going to eventually pinch over here or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I have this other Z here that I was looking at. Same fenders, same rear bumper, and the previous owner just ended up trimming it on a straight line like that, which actually looks pretty good. So I am considering doing that. Looking at it, messing with it, figuring it out as I go, and eventually making it look really good. And I'm also replacing all the hardware here with a small, low-profile button-head black Allen bolt. So the ones that were on before are these bulky ricer-looking things that are all rusty and gross. So I'm getting rid of that and giving it a much smoother, sleeker look, which I think makes a car look more like a car and less like an abomination. So take some of that cue from you guys at home and, you know, do that yourself. All right, so first thing, just gonna eyeball this for about 20 minutes and then we'll decide what we're doing, and then I'll pull the camera back out. All right, so simple idea here, just put some painter's tape. We got a line drawn. We're just gonna trim it, put it back on, and just kind of nibble away slowly until it fits perfect, and then we'll have a final fit. Okay, fitting a little better. The gap is getting less, but still not completely gap free. So just keep nibbling away. All finished and fitted. So you can see that we ended up trimming it at a straight angle here and then curved down. Give it a nice radius to follow the curvature of this bumper. I could put another riv nut here, and I thought about that to kind of tighten this small gap. But honestly, if you mount fiberglass stuff too strong and too solid, you have a tendency to really have it crack. And so like as the wheel moves up and down, if anything catches on this or if this gets bumped into a cone, I don't want this to be too tight to where it's gonna just crack and break the mounting point. So I'm okay with that tiny gap there. I'm gonna definitely wrap that little piece of silver under there to cover that up and mask it. Now there is still some finishing to be done here. I'm gonna sand and you know, make that look nicer. But in terms of fit and finish, you can see I added one more riv nut right here, one more mounting point, and it turned out really nice. I'll put a different washer there. This one's the ugly one I don't like, but I had to use it for now just to hold it in. And yeah, turned out really good. I think it's gonna be functional, good looking, aesthetically pleasing, and definitely tie in the look of this car a lot nicer than the race car that it was. I'm trying to make it more of like a street style drift car that still has a ridiculous drivetrain. So that's what we're going for. Now, on to the next one. We get to start all over and do it all over again on this side. Yay. Oh man. So Derek's got the brilliant idea to make a template here. So we just basically traced this shape off this one, and we're gonna semi-transfer it to here. It's probably not gonna be perfect, so we might leave a little bit of margin. Get that up. Yeah. Cool. Now I gotta cut it. Nice. Perfect. So I decided to cut this hole out because it's a rear mount radiator, so you can see the fans back here. They have to evacuate the air somehow, and obviously that big panel there in the way is not going to allow that very well. So this, I think, is the best idea to keep a nice aesthetically pleasing rear end. All you FD nerds, take note, you don't have to chop your bumper in half. You can still have a good looking car with a functional, you know, air dam for the air to come out from the radiator. So this is going to work just fine. I am going to put something in here to brace it, and obviously tons of room. And then if I ever want to hang a license plate, I can just put a little simple bracket right here and do that. So up next is to order some wrap. Got to wrap this thing. Well, up next is to finish all this because I have to do a lot of sanding and finishing work that's boring on camera, so I won't film that. But essentially just sand this all smooth and get it all prepped for a nice vinyl wrap. And then after that, it's pretty much done. The KBD bumper that I got has now been wrapped. So I took this to a shop and got it professionally wrapped, and it came out fantastic. You can see KBD doing KBD things here as it is indestructibly flopped over. And so that'll be a nice upgrade for the car. This is looking great. It's coming out so nice. Thank you, Xander, for the help. This sucks with one person. I've done it. It was terrible.
That's what I'm here for.
Up next, I've got a little repair to make right here. This guy is kind of broken, so I'm gonna plastic weld it back together. That way, when this snaps in all these little clips, it'll hold it nice and flush and solid like it should be. So I'm using this plastic welder. It's got this kind of tip on it, and basically you just pull the trigger and melt it in there. I'll probably put a couple of them on there, and I'm not going to be able to hold the camera while I do this, so I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Easy to lay. All right, you can see I got a couple of staples melted in there now. So I just got to clip these little tails, and then I'm going to go back in with some right stuff and just give it one extra layer of protection, and then it should be good to go. There we go, looking much better. And also I put proper hardware on to hold the skirt on. Just one little detail that, you know, these were just held in with zip ties and they were flopping all over. So now it's nice and solid, not going anywhere. So now, got to put on those over fenders. There's also something else that's weird. I bought all this brand new black oxide coated hardware thinking that would look nice. And it's already starting to rust. Like, so annoying. The thing is not even 2 weeks old. It hasn't even sat outside. So that's another thing we got to do. Xander is helping me in the shop today, thankfully, because I got a lot of stuff to do. So we're going to paint all of the hardware so that it doesn't have that rust and look ugly and old, even though it's brand spanking new. So a little tip for setting yourself up to paint, just get you an old box and stab a bunch of holes in it, and then you can put the hardware in it and paint it much more easily that way. Stab them all in there. Cheap and easy, ready to go thing to paint everything. So we used a self-etching primer. First he wiped it down with acetone, and now he's going to hit it with the black paint, and Comet's going to help. Good girl. All right, paint these hoes. So I'm going to use some alcohol here to wipe off some of these rubber marks, just to clean up the body. Yeah, see? Checking all the fluids. Xander was smart enough to say, hey, let's look in the radiator. And it's a little low, so we're going to top it off with the best stuff on earth. Some red line water wetter. Try not to spill too much of it. And then use some distilled water on top of that, just to make sure she's happy.
That's a weird sounding 2J.
I know, right? Doesn't it sound so much better?
It does sound so much better.
It's amazing when you put nice exhaust that was meant for a 6-cylinder with a V8. Quieted it up, but not too much. It's still, you know, plenty loud. Sounds great. Fits perfect. Man, I'm really happy with this.
Comet, did you like that?
She did not like that.
Comet, are you happy?
She has been happier.
Yeah.
But yeah, bumper fits good. God, that wrap looks sick. I need to wash it real quick, but that looks awesome. The polished muffler came out fantastic. Cleaning up those wires makes me happy inside. Oh yeah, this is looking real good. All the fitment is much better. No more rusty bolts. Now I just need to get the wheels back from the powder coater, mount some new tires on it for him, and give it a wash. Should be good to go. Sick. Get all the moisture out of it.
You know who's
Sacred here doing what he does best.